Hello, welcome back to my channel. This video is dedicated to the newer doulas out there. Basically a video I wish I saw when I first started. You are in a space where you're supporting someone bringing life into this world. They look to you for support not only physically, but emotionally, energetically, sometimes spiritually. In certain environments, it's very key to be able to provide information. That's a lot of hats to wear in a space where maybe you've never seen a birth before. Now you're tasked to do this on your own without the support of a midwife or another doula. It can be a lot. It can definitely be a lot. But as you develop your style of being a birth worker or a doula, you start to realize and notice the more that you are aware of yourself in the space of supporting someone else, that certain messages or inclinations or ideas come up in your mind to do. For example, it may be a long labor and you've been paying attention to the laboring person. You've been hearing their breathing. You've been hydrating them, maybe giving them some food, depending on where you're at in terms of their birthing location. And you're really becoming more and more aware of their breathing and the phase or stage of labor that they're in. For me, when I'm in those spaces or in that particular space, I have been probably still for some time, have been paying attention to my breathing because I also want them to mimic my breathing patterns to remind them to breathe. I'm hydrating. I'm breathing deeply. I'm having a point of focus aside from distractions, aside from things that happen in the hospital, aside from all the other external factors. I'm in this sort of meditative state, right, where I'm fully engaged and fully paying attention to who I'm supporting. In those moments of prolonged focus, I start to have these gut feelings in response to questions from providers or in response to the partner or even in response to the laboring person on what should we do next or an answer to a question. And then outside of that, I start to think of new ideas to support the person if what we're doing isn't working. And so when I think back on the births that I've supported that may have ended up in a C-section, that maybe ended up in a vaginal birth, that were either in the hospital, home birth, or birthing center, when I'm in that space and state of focus, I am more inclined to support the best way that I can, but also I'm in a space to receive and be aware of my intuition and the messages that are coming to be able to support. Now, this may not happen in every single birth, and every single person I support because there are multiple distractions. Maybe I'm focusing on the partner more so than the laboring person, or it's this combination of both where I'm not fully able to be present with the laboring person. But the more and more I support people, the more and more my intuition speaks to me loud and clear. Now, as a newer doula, I found it hard to trust those messages because I'm thinking, oh, I don't know if this is the right decision, if this is the right suggestion. I don't even know if I can really read what phase or stage this person is at. So I'm having the doubts take over and mask my intuitive knowing. It just takes, like everything else that we do in life, it just takes practice and it just takes experience and it takes knowledge. So for newer doulas or birth workers, what I would suggest or advise is to start to build a practice of mindfulness. Because you're not only just supporting this physical experience. There is literally a baby, a new human being, a spirit going into that body and now coming through someone's body into the world that you have been living in for however long of a time. Not to increase the amount of pressure, but when it comes to intuition, the more that you practice mindfulness, the more that you'll be able to, one, hear your own intuition, and 2, trust it. For me, in the beginning, I did not trust myself. I didn't trust my gut. I didn't trust the inner voice that was telling me either something is wrong, that's not right, we need more time, let's change positions, something. And even in the moments of trying to pinpoint exact moments on how that intuition comes out, I couldn't even tell you. But I have realized in my short time as being a birth worker, because I mean, there are some birth workers that have been doing this for as long as I've been alive. So for the short time that I have been a birth worker, what I've realized is that my intuition has definitely increased, and so has my trust in that. So I'm making this video for all you birth workers out there to develop that mindfulness practice for yourself, that self-awareness, develop that trust in yourself. And if it means reading more books, if it means talking to more doulas, more experienced birth workers, if it means having a community, having a tribe that you can reach out to during a birth, if it means having a mentor, if it means finding even someone that you can shadow, which can be challenging, because you're bringing another person into a very intimate space. Whatever it is, find it, do it, live it, experience it, be it. Because birth work, we call it work, but it's also a development of self. Most of the doulas I know are beautiful, beautiful human beings, probably the best human beings that I know. If you're coming into this work and you just don't know where to start, one of the places I would say is developing a mindfulness practice, a self-awareness that will build your confidence, build your intuitive knowing. You got this. Peace.